Great. Thank you for joining me today. 1 minute ahead of time. So my name, Jason Atwood. I am a co-founder of Arcus. We're going to do a living in distraction-free world, little quick session. I call this my little mini TED Talk, I guess, if you will. A little bit about me to start off, a bunch of different stuff. I co-host a podcast. I'm a Hall of Famer in my own mind. Maybe I consider myself productivity guru. I'm a blogger, a podcaster, and a runner of races. I'm certainly over-certified, although at Arcus, I am not even the top. We have people way over-certified than me. Today, just a quick agenda of what we're going to do. We're going to kind of talk about distractions, what they do to the science behind it a little bit, what it means, why. Then we're going to talk about what to turn off. Then I'm going to do something crazy, although I'm going to turn off I'm going to actually show my phone and show you some of the features and things you can look at. And then I'll talk about how you manage the missing notifications. We call this the FOMO moment, right? The FOMO, I'm missing out on all this stuff. I'll give you some resources to take away, things to write down, to capture, to go buy, none of which I own, so I will make no money off this. And then we'll do some questions, and I have some questions for you, and then maybe we'll do it in chat or whatever. You can come off mute, whatever. It's a small group, so we can do that. All right, so I want to start off with a little bit of hard truths, as I like to say. This is the hard part of the conversation. You don't have a lot of time on this earth, right? You have only 24 hours a day, only 7 days a week, only 252 weeks a year, and you got that 90 to 100 years. Okay, maybe you lived 110, but you don't have a lot of time on the planet. And so I like to think of that as like, it's this limited resource, and you should value it. Put the value into your time. Think about your time as being extremely valuable and reclaim it, right? Because your time and attention is such an important thing. So this is a Greek philosopher. Even back then, they knew that is the most important thing you could spend. So what are we talking about here, right? Well, we're talking about the things that are stealing your time. And I call these distractions. You might call these alerts and notifications. And yeah, we know what these are because we all have them. They're probably popping off right now on your desktop or on your phone. And I like to kind of tell people that we know it's probably killing our productivity, right? Hey, you're trying to do something, you get a notification. But what about how much it hurts you socially? I do like to think about that concept, that the ability to be and stay engaged with another human being, which is a talent we're losing more and more in our society. It's super nice to be able to do that. But these things, these beeps, these bops, the notifications, distractions are really killing that in us now as a society. So it's something I think we can focus on, something we can get better at, something we can build better habits. So it goes back to sort of what Cal Newport would call deep work, right? Which is that in the zone work where you're doing incredible work and you're in the zone and you just feel it. You've done this, you're in the Salesforce ecosystem, you're a consultant or you're an admin or whatever, you're just in there and you're doing some great work, right? Well, alert, something that breaks you out of that zone, it can take you 2 to 15 minutes to get back to that zone, to get into that deep work. And that deep work is actually the best work we can do. So if you think about that, right, 2 to 15 minutes to get back to that deep work. So what's real world look like to us? Well, 45 alerts. I looked up some numbers, just Googled it, found some world things. Like we have about 45 different alerts on our phones every day, right? We have another 25 plus on our desktop. That's if you don't have the email one, then you have hundreds, right? You have this watch on and it alerts you and says things are going on that are dropping you out of that deep work. So what are you looking at? You're looking at 100 a day? Well, let's do some math there. Like if it takes me 2 minutes or 2 to 15 minutes to get back to my deep work and I'm getting 100 of these a day, what does it kind of say to you? It kind of says, you're not really doing deep work. You're never getting into deep work, right? You're just getting knocked out of it. So this is part of the problem, right? This is your ability to focus and to stay engaged is being ruined by all these notifications, all these alerts. So I think the goal really is to get more done and have less distractions and certainly be more engaged. And I like that engagement is like, it's not just being engaged with your work but it's also being engaged with human beings, right? The other important things that are on this planet with us. So that's the goal. Well, how are we going to get there, right? Well, is this you? Is this your phone? Does this recognize this? When you see this, does this give you a sense of peace and mindfulness, or does your heart start pounding because you like see 1,394 unread or 13,946 unread emails, or the WhatsApp, or the missed phone calls, or the messages, right? What does this say to you? What about this one, right? Oh, now I got lots of stuff coming on. I got messages. There's at least 12,000 unread emails. That certainly raises my stress level. I can see billionaires coming after me. The axe clicker, I've got 7 things to do in there. And who knows what the 27 things underneath GPS wars is really calling at me, not to mention the Instagram or Pandora, right? And then how distracting is this to you? Do you know those people who open up their phones to do something and they get distracted by these, right? This started back, these are old screenshots, obviously, but this started because, you wanted to be alerted about something important. But we've gone beyond that. Just like I don't need AOL to tell me I've got mail now, right? That's for the old school folks. I also don't need this anymore. I don't need Temple Run coming after me and telling me. And this and 1,518 or 1,518 things in this folder, they're just undoable. That's a distraction. That's keeping you away from doing something else. I do like there's a little chatter icon in there. That makes me happy. So, right, but this is the type of stuff. This is the type of stuff that's driving us and distracting us. These, and this is certainly old school because Twitter's an old school icon, but 324, right? 3 downloads, SMS messages, Google notifications, right? All this stuff is just keeping us stressed and it's distracting us. And these are obviously, I'm not showing you the real world ones that pop up on your phone or buzz or whatever. I'm just showing you what your home screen might look like. And does your home screen look like this anyway, right? So there's a thing in the new version of iOS, or at least a couple versions of, called screen time. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demo it live, but I just want to sort of show a couple like what it's kind of looking at, right? So this is notifications. This is the other side of it. So there's badge icons, which I showed. Those are distracting. Then there's notifications. Look at that. This is somebody's, not mine. 1,281 notifications in the last 7 days. That's 183 a day. That's WhatsApp coming at that person 522 times in that day, right? Hangouts, Reddit, messages. Look at all the stuff that's happening to that person. Imagine trying to do work or be engaged or have a conversation if that's your life. What about this? 284 times. Yes, you definitely need to be notified by Snapchat 1,340 times in a 7-day period. That's definitely, that makes a lot of sense. That's definitely going to be good for you, right? Or this one, 308 per day. You definitely need those Bleacher Report reports, right? Look at someone's obviously learning some language here. You got Lingo Deer and Duolingo, they're learning a new language. But all this stuff, right? All this stuff is coming at us and we kind of just accept it. Most of these programs come this out of the box, they turn it on. And I like to think like, the new modern society and culture and economy is about eyeballs and your time. So these things, Snapchat and Instagram and Q Live, whatever that is, and Duolingo, they're just trying to get your eyeballs. You're selling your time to them by being a part of it, and then they're selling ads to you. So think about like stealing back your time and saying, I don't need this stuff to be after me. So when you look at these, is this like how many you have or not? So yes, I am telling you, and I'm suggesting, and I know it's uncomfortable, I'm suggesting you turn off all your notifications. So I'm suggesting you turn off all those banners that come on the top of your phone that tell you something's going to happen. You turn off all the badge icons so it doesn't show you millions and millions of things under there. You don't need to know you have new mail. You always have new mail. That's like telling you to breathe or something. You have new mail. There's mail sitting there for you. And if you wait 4 minutes, there'll be more mail waiting for you. Turn off all the social network stuff. I know you really want to know about Aunt Polly and the new puppy she got, but you don't need to be notified all day, all night about that. Turn off the desktop alerts. You see these when you're on a meeting, maybe with somebody from a company that rhymes with Balefforce, and all of a sudden you get these fly-ins or presenting, you get these fly-ins of someone else, new message, new thing, new something. It's very, very, it's an onslaught. Turn off all the calendar alerts. I know it's difficult. All the screen pops. Turn off all the desktop banners, right? So these are the ones that notify you on the desktop. And turn off all the watch notifications. This is a great tool, but it also can be a massive distractor. And you're like, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to live like this? I can't live like that. I need all this stuff. Well, you're going to turn on Do Not Disturb, and then you're just going to go back and turn on the ones you need. So my advice is turn off everything and then just go back and take the couple of the ones you need and turn those ones back on, right? Don't live in a world where everything's on automatically. Turn them off. And then measure it. Go back and look, see what happens. See what happens on your phone. See how many notifications you get or how many pickups. And I'll show you when I'll demo on my phone, right? It really tells you like where your time and attention is going. It's amazing and it's a little scary, but see what that is and measure it and come back and maybe set yourself a goal to do it. So, okay, let's do a demo. Again, no one should ever do this. It's a really, really stupid thing to do. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to show you live phone. We're going to dig in. I'm going to show you some of the things you can measure and look at on your phone. Again, I'm doing iOS. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's the same thing for Android or anything else. So yes, this is, and I will move things left and right. This is live on my phone, and you will notice that I do not have any notifications. And you're like, well, that's probably because you don't have any email. Yeah, I have email. In fact, I could ask my assistant, I have someone on it with a similar last name, to send me a text right now. What you will notice is that nothing will happen. That's actually going to happen. I will feel it in my hand, but there'll be no ping. I look over to all my applications. There's not one with a icon on it at all. It doesn't matter where I go. You're not going to see it. I do not have any. I turn them all off. I know there's tweets under there. I know there's messages under there. I know there's undue tasks over there. I knew there's, and yes, I just got an alert I just felt it, and that's where I leave it on. I know under Salesforce, there's something telling me, and I probably sure there's some really cool YouTube videos, and yes, there's Slack. That's the number one. I do not turn them on. I leave them off. If I want to do Slack, I do Slack. All right. So let's look at some of the settings here. The first one to do is to go into notifications, right? You can scroll down, and this is a nice feature. I don't know if you've done this before, but you can go and look and see. I'll go down to messages and show you the one that I have it on. See, all off, off, off. Hilton Honors off, Kindle off, Jets off, right? Off. Messages, there's one, right? I turned off the lock screen, turn off the notification, turn off the banner. I just leave it on vibrate only, right? So you can see, like that's it, right? Most of everything else. And yeah, I have a couple on, like my phone. Yes, that makes sense because I don't get a lot of phone calls. And if I get a phone call, I want it to alert me, right? But watch banners, sure. But it's really most of them off. And if you go into screen time, and this is where I think it's really important. If I go into screen time, show all activity, let's actually go by week, right? So here's my using my phone. Yes, that's scared. Yes, this is, what I'm using on my phone. So, messages, photos, Hulu, mail, whatever. Now, pickups, right? What is alerting you to pick up your phone? Go in and look at that. Now I am averaging picking up my phone 75 times on a day, 20% down from last week. How many do you pick up your phone? And what are you picking up for, right? For me, it's messages. Okay, I pick up, I do mail, I do OmniFocus, I do podcasts. I don't feel too bad about that. What about notifications? 29 a day on average. And where are they coming from? Authenticator, so I can log into Salesforce. Phone, so because I got a phone call. Calendar, so that is one I turn back on because I think it's important to know when I have an event. Other things in here, right? Eero's my network. There's my home automation. Not a lot. Go back last week. You're saying, well, you're probably cheating because last week you did something else. Nope, same thing. Average 27 a week. Week before that, 28. Week before that, right? So go back, go look at yours. How many do you get? Where are they coming from? What's alerting you? Do you really need to know that? And by the way, from here, you can go turn it off. So if you want, you can go right into this. So let's say I don't want settings to alert me or phone to alert me. I can change it right from here. So go see what's taking your time and attention, what's grabbing you, and turn them off and see what happens, right? It's a really nice way to show what's going on and what you're doing with your time. So set a little goal. Maybe you want to be under 50 or under 30 or under 10, whatever it is, and turn it off, and you'll notice a difference pretty quickly. Let's go back to my little presentation here. That was scary. Oof, very scary. All right, so we looked at my phone. It's crazy. Yes, I keep it that way. All right, so what you're probably saying is, but Jason, that's wonderful and all, but how am I going to manage all these missing notifications, right? I need to know about Instagram. I need to know about this. I can't live in a world, right? Well, there are some ways you can do it. You can survive. You will be okay. One is to know your inboxes. And that's to talk about really like where are all these different things coming to you? Where do people contact you? Yes, human contact is an important thing, and being in touch with people is important. So figure out your inboxes and then figure out which ones you care about. One of the things that I do is I go through and I only care about communication from a few sources: email, right, text, maybe Slack, but those are my inboxes. I don't care about DMs on Twitter or LinkedIn messages. I'll go check those whenever I want, but I don't need to be notified about them, right? So you can shut them down. Shut down the one that you don't care about, because there's a lot out there trying to get your attention. Second is renegotiate your commitments, right? So this is to talk about like what is important to you, right? Is that power up on Candy Crush that important? Is it more important than spending time with a loved one and being caring and loving with them, right? So it's just, there's places you can say, I don't care. And I say to people, look, if you want to get in touch with me, here's the 3 ways. Don't come at me from all these different places. This is the only place I'm going to really pay attention to. And I renegotiate commitment both with myself and with them, my family, friends, whatever, business partners, peers, employees, to say these are the way to communicate with me. One of my rules is if it's an emergency, call me. That's it. It's very simple. It's an emergency, call me. Don't text me in an emergency. No one goes and texts 911, right? You call. And then try it, be like Mikey and just try it. Give it a shot. It's not going to hurt you. You can always go turn them all back on. They'll all be there. Every application will be more than happy to send you 1 million alerts, but just try it. Try it for a week. I've had so many people, I coach them in this, and I'm like, just turn it off for a week. And amazingly, they'll come back. They're like, I don't miss them at all. It's amazing how much I don't miss. You're like, yeah, you don't miss that stuff at all. One of our things at Arcus is I tell everybody at Arcus to turn off all the notifications. And they're like, what? What do you mean? Like, what if you're trying to get to me from Slack? I'm like, just log into Slack. It's okay. And that's the pull, not push. You set up time to go into those places and to come up and to look at them and to deal with them, right? So do them in sprints. Go into Slack 5 times a day. Go and do your email 6 or 7 times a day. Don't do email all the time. Don't do Slack every single time. Don't do texting all the time. Do it in little bits and pieces, right? Unless you're in a place that you're going to hit the nuclear codes or whatever, launch the bombs, like I'm sure it'll be fine. No one's dying if you don't check Slack for 2 hours, right? Go in, hit Slack, read up a bunch of stuff, and then get out of there. You being on that constant thing, it allows you to do no work. And that really comes to the being productive, right? So this is like really going and saying, well, you go in, you pick out your, so one of the things I look at LinkedIn every morning, I take 5 minutes, I look at LinkedIn, I just do that and that's off. That's part of my morning ritual is I looked at LinkedIn and a message or 2, and then I log out. I don't look at it the rest of the day. I could be getting hundreds of alerts all day. I just don't look at them. I don't care. So I put in my system to go look at these places, the cadence that I want to look at them. Slack and email, more important. Twitter DMs, I don't know, once a week, right? Some places I don't even go check at all. So it's really about you putting in how you want to, not letting them decide. These applications, these companies decide how often you're going to spend time in there. All right, let's talk a couple resources here. So first of all, I didn't even mention it. It's crazy. Someone's on the call here, and I did a presentation, didn't talk about getting things done, so I'm going to talk about it. So if you're looking for a really good methodology for productivity, I have been a practitioner of getting things done for 15 years now, and really, really, really helped me. I went from someone who's very high procrastinator to someone who is I think, live a very stress-free productivity. I'm very productive and I don't get stressed out about it. Great book. He has a bunch of stuff. I'd read that one. You want to learn about, being in a distracted world, like look at deep work. I love the deep work concept that he talks about. This deep work, like being that in the zone, is extremely valuable. And in the next economy, in the next 10 years, 20 years, the ability to do deep work will be compensated better than those that are highly distracted. Let that one sink in for a second. Brain chains. He talks all about how these things affect your brain, how these notifications, how the social media, right? The dopamine effect of getting that ping and that like on Instagram, how it is really bad for your brain and your brain can't handle it. So it's a little depressing, but want to read it, like read Brain Chains. He actually has a short version if you want. Very good. but it really talks about how all this stuff is, our brains are just not meant for it, and not really good at this stuff. And then The Power of Habit. I mean, I'm sure everybody suggests The Power of Habit. It's an incredible book, Charles Duhigg. To do any of these things, you have to create new habits. And The Power of Habit teaches you how, teaches you why habits are, what they are, and how to build new ones, or how to get rid of bad ones, right? How to get yourself unaddicted to Candy Crush, or work out more, or be more productive, or whatever it is. So The Power of Habit, great book, Charles Duhigg. All right, so I have some questions and answers. I'm going to ask these of you, right? So just to start off, and then we can open it up if people want to post into the virtual whatever chat that I've not been paying attention to. First question for everybody, and you can answer it in chat, or you can answer it to yourself or to your maker, look high in the sky. What is keeping you from turning off all your alerts and notifications? Really, what's the thing that is stopping you from doing that? Is it the dopamine hits? Is it your Candy Crush streak? Is it that you're worried that you're not going to get back to your boss fast enough and get fired? Like, what is it that's keeping those things going, right? And then how many are you getting? Like, go in, take a look. I bet you'll be surprised, right? You're probably getting more than you thought. And I find with anything, right? Like, if you want to lose weight, what do? You get on the scale and measure yourself. Like, even putting your face in front of it, right? If you look at how many you're getting, my guess is you'll have a little bit of a reality, and you go, oof, I don't know, that's a lot. That's a lot more. Compare it to your friends. Right now, go to your spouse, your partner, your friend, your child, your parent, and put your phones side by side. See which one has more or less, where they're coming from. And then lastly, really think about, what is your time worth, right? I'm a consultant. I've been a consultant for over 10 years now. And as a consultant, I bill my clients for my time. So I'm pretty attuned to what my time is worth, right? I actually have a dollar value of it. If you're in this world, you have a value of it. You can give yourself that. But beyond just like the actual hour of what someone had got to get you to do, what is your time worth, right? If it is something that you can't get more of, can't, no matter how rich you are, Bezos cannot buy more time on this planet. He can buy time on another planet, or Musk. Musk can buy, they can combine all their wealth worth, and they can't buy more time, right? Disney, what did he do? He got cryo froze. He didn't get any more time on the planet. So it's super important. And really all this stuff, all these notifications, all these things that are distracting you, are they really worth it? Are they really, really worth it compared to, a human interaction? So with that and that nice thought, I will say thank you, which I've got to end everything with a thank you. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for almost 20 years, and you know what? You got to end with a thank you. Now, I would ask, is there anybody who would like to? A scale high of 10. Oh, you're all going to answer whether you like this or not. Okay, that's great. Oh, wow! And I get to see the results instantly. That's scary. Thanks. Any questions? I think we have like a couple minutes. Anybody have a question? And we want me to show anything on my phone? Pictures? I'm just kidding. Is there anything, let's see, I'm gonna scroll through here. Okay, cold turkey. Yes, okay. If you have any questions, you can come off mute and ask, or you can, is your inbox is gathering place for other people's agenda. That's true. I do a whole presentation on email mastery, by the way. Maybe you can find it online. I think Justin and I recorded a podcast on it, so if you want to go read that one. But it's all the same sort of stuff. It's about how to handle your stuff. Oh, wow. Catherine's posting things in there too. All right. Well, with that, if I don't have any other takers for questions, I'll give everybody a second or two. Thank you for your feedback. It was wonderful. That was awesome. And yes, go look up at email. It's actually called Email Ninja. You want to Google it, and I'm sure maybe my lovely assistant will post it in here. But yeah, it's called Email Ninja, and it's on the Arcus blog, the Cloud Focus Weekly podcast. We did a whole thing on it. So cool. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your virtual sessions. Go hit someone up in Discord and turn off those notifications. As instantly as I installed it, I turned off the notifications. They're like, do you want to be notified? I said no. All righty. Thanks, everybody.